Some gun store shelves are thinning out again in certain places. Whole pallets of rifles and pistols are vanishing before the shrink wrap even cools. Why are these exact 13 guns disappearing like bottled water before a hurricane? In this video, we'll talk about the 13 SHTF-ready firearms that Americans are scrambling to buy right now, and why waiting even a week could mean paying scalper prices or missing out entirely. You'll see how a $400 PSA rifle is outperforming expectations, why the Ruger 1022 Takedown is quietly becoming the go-to bug-out gun for small game, how the Glock 19 and Glock 17 are still dominating the panic buy charts, and what's got people throwing down over a Chiappa break action with caliber inserts. Whether you're stockpiling for economic collapse planning for social unrest or just hate missing a good deal, these are the exact models that are being swept off the shelves fast. And not by hype, but by people who know how to read the writing on the wall. Stick around, because if you've been dragging your feet, this video might be the nudge that saves you from regret. Every time a shipment of Glock 19 Gen 5 pistols lands in a shop around here, the phone rings off the hook before the cases even get cracked. At $539 MSRP, you're buying the closest thing to a mechanical guarantee that your sidearm will go bang when the chips are down. Night-righted slide NDLC finish marksman barrel and the simplest striker-fired guts on the planet keep maintenance low and parts common. Folks used to call the G19 a compact, yet the 15-round standard mag with optional 17, 24, and even 33-round sticks turns it into a mid-fight ammo can. Every sheriff's deputy in my county carries one, which means spare mags, and holsters are everywhere. The Gen 5 frame deletes the finger grooves so big mitts and small paws both find traction. I've run one through weekend carbine pistol courses, dunked it in red clay mud, then fired an entire 500-round case of steel-cased NATO without a single stoppage. That kind of abuse builds a reputation, and reputation drives panic buying faster than any marketing blurb ever could. Brass stackers, preppers, first-time owners, it doesn't matter. They're all lining up because they know if grid power blinks out a magazine of 9mm inside a Glock is worth more than a safe full of finicky boutique blasters. Grab one now, or watch the price climb on the secondary market when inventories stall again. Shelves that held stacks of rimfire rifles last winter now sit bare, and the Ruger 1022 Takedown base model, $559 MSRP, owns much of the blame. Ruger has cranked out millions of 1022 actions since 1964, but the backpack-ready Takedown variant is what survivalists dream about. Break it at the receiver latch, stow the halves inside, nothing larger than a hiking pack, and you have a 4.6-pound squirrel slayer that'll also puncture aluminum roofing pop feral dogs and train new shooters on pennies per trigger press. The rotary magazine feeds 10 rounds of 22 long rifle without hanging below the stock, and any big box store that still stocks ammo keeps bricks of rimfire on the back wall. I keep Butler Creek 25-round Hot Lips mags loaded in my bug-out bag because every shot adds protein to the stew pot. Stainless barrels, polymer trigger housings, and the legendary push-button bolt stop mean you can hose it clean with brake cleaner, lube it, and press on. Accuracy. 50-yard groups fit under a nickel with bulk ammo. Match rounds print ragged holes. Add a folding rear sight or a micro red dot on the supplied rail, and you're ringing steel faster than rifles costing triple. That practicality is why pallets of 1022s vanish within hours of arriving at distributors, and why the used market suddenly looks like a desert. Don't wait. Small game rifles become big deals when grocery store meat goes scarce. Deal hunters watching PSA's daily drops already know the story. The PA-15 mid-length classic lists for $719, but keeps surfacing at $399 during holiday blowouts, and every time that happens, the checkout screen melts from sheer traffic. This rifle runs a 16-inch 5.56 NATO barrel phosphate-coated 1-in-7 twist mid-length gas for softer impulse. A Carpenter 158 bolt and chrome-lined carrier ride inside a forged 7075 upper specs you used to find only on $1,200 builds. But the real magic isn't just price, it's parts commonality. Everything's vanilla mil-spec, so if you stock spares for any AR, they'll drop right in. I've watched shooters zero PA-15s run them through 2-day tactical classes, then stash them as cash guns because they're cheap enough to hide, reliable enough to bet your life. 7-position buffer tubes accept any buttstock. Swap to a free float rail later, and you're still under what competitors charge. When riots kicked off 3 summers ago, pallets of PSA rifles vanished overnight, Because moms, dads, and first-time buyers understood an AR with iron sights and 30 mags beats an IOU for a Gucci build. Mid-length gas helps with suppressed fire if you thread on a can, and the A2 flash hider is ready to spin off for your favorite break. The frenzy keeps repeating because PSA proves that budget doesn't equal junk, and in uncertain times that truth spreads like wildfire. American-made AKs used to be a punchline, but Palmetto State Armory's PSA AK-47 GF3 flipped the script. MSRP sits at $749, and that includes a hammer-forged front trunnion, forged bolt, and forged carrier the three parts foreign importers brag about. Chambered in 7.62 by 39, it digests lacquer-coated steel case without drama and throws 123 grain pills through windshield glass or sheet metal, where 223 sometimes fizzles. Rainy range day. Polymer furniture shrugs off mud. I've drenched mine in bore solvent, wiped it with a t-shirt, and kept shooting. Accuracy runs 2 to 3 inch groups at 100 yards with cheap Barnaul, which for a Kalashnikov is perfectly battle-worthy. Magpul surplus steel or Bulgarian waffle mags lock up tight thanks to PSA's precise magwell cuts. The adjustable rear sight still slides to 800 meters if you fancy Cold War nostalgia. Side rail scope mount yep installed. When Russian ammo panic spiked the PSAK platform's appetite for anything made it the go-to rifle folks bought by the case. Price of imported rifles keeps climbing, but PSA holds the line domestically, and buyers know the window may close if legislation throttles 7.62 supply. A week after fresh inventory hits, local shops show empty slots and wait lists again. If your SHTF plan demands a rifle that runs dirty and doubles as a pry bar, pick up a GF3 before the next spike locks you out. Walk any police supply trade show and count the scuffed Mossberg 590s retired from cruiser racks they still cycle like day one, which tells the story better than any glossy ad. Average retail falls between $580 and $700 depending on variant, and at that price, you own the pump shotgun that cleared rooms in Fallujah and Katrina alike. Dual extractors yank hulls even when mud cakes the chamber. Twin action bars eliminate binding during high-stress racking. The thumb-ready tang safety makes ambidextrous training trivial. 6 or 8-shot tube options plus barrel lengths from 18.5 to 20 inches let you tailor for home defense or rural patrol. I keep Federal Flight Control double-aught buck patterned at 15 yards inside a salad plate. Add a cylinder bore slug, and steel doors shiver. Ghost ring models include a heat shield that shrugs off mag dump drills where lesser barrels turn purple. The 590 accepts shield arms, clamps, bayonet lugs, and every light mount you can dream up. When supply chain hiccups hit, law-abiding citizens realized pumps ignore ammo, type low recoil, high brass birdshot, and store owners watched 590s disappear first. Word spreads that the 590 cycles mini shells with a simple adapter bumping capacity to 9 shots of number 1 buck and urgency spikes again. If any shotgun ends up heirloom reliable during a 3-week grid blackout, it's the Mossberg, and that's why pallets vanish the second they arrive. Big-handed shooters or anyone running duty gear lean towards the Glock 17 Gen 5 because it stuffs 17+1 rounds into the same 539 MSRP polymer slab that armies trust worldwide. Same Gen 5 barrel upgrade as the Glock 19. Same slick DLC finish, yet you gain the longer sight radius that stretches practical hits past 50 yards. I once chrono-tested 3 brands of 9mm. Velocity jumped 40 feet per second in the Glock 17 compared with the compact, giving a touch more energy on steel. Holsters light sights triggers. Everything floods the market, which means you can still scrounge upgrades when shipping lanes choke. Swapping back straps lets gloved winter hands find purchase, and no beaver tail pinch means less slide bite during rapid strings. Magazines share with PCCs like the Ruger PC Carbine or Kel-Tec Sub 2000, so consolidating logistics is easy. In states where 10-round limits threaten buyers rush to secure standard capacity mags, every time a rumor circulates, distributors sell out the same afternoon. Reliability mirrors the Glock 19. Filthy drills, limp-wristed beginners, steel-cased fodder it keeps cycling. That combination of high-capacity worldwide parts and good street price makes the Glock 17 the full-size pistol locals grab when word spreads of curfews or fuel shortages. Keep one on your belt, stash another with your emergency food. Both will function decades from now. Nobody expected a polymer SIG to dethrone legacy metal frames, yet the $479.99 base P320 full-size did exactly that, landing the U.S. Army's M17 contract. Civilian demand shadowed those green boxes instantly. A drop-in serialized fire control unit means you can slide it into any grip module carry compact X series, making the P320 the Mr. Potato Head of handguns. In an emergency that flexibility matters, break a frame, insert the FCU into a spare continue. Friction-reducing nitron slide finish resists rust, whether you're sweltering in bayou humidity or slogging through snow. The trigger breaks clean at about 6 pounds, and the short reset speeds double taps that keep coyotes or two-legged predators pinned down. Steel magazines hold 17 rounds, and Legion 21 rounders seat flush with a +2 base plate, giving you carbine-level payload in a pistol. I've run 1,000 round endurance sessions without wiping the rails and recorded 0 malfunctions, a story echoed by instructors nationwide. Price undercuts many striker pistols with fewer features, so when stimulus checks hit, shelves cleared. Red Dot Ready slides ship standard on many variants, and the low deck height co-witnesses with suppressor sights nicely. Throw on a compact weapon light, and you have a night defender that politicians might target next session. Smart preppers are buying now, burying spares and sleeping easier. When Smith & Wesson rolled out the second-generation M and P, the grip texture alone converted half our local range members. MSRP hovers around $679 for the optics ready model, yet resale spikes to $800 whenever background checks backlog. 4 interchangeable Palmswell inserts give a custom feel without gunsmithing. The 2.0 trigger is lighter and crisper than Gen 1. Mine breaks at 4.5 pounds, perfect for defensive accuracy without hair trigger anxiety. Factory slide cuts accept RMR pattern plates, and the forward serrations bite even with sweaty hands. The steel chassis inside the polymer frame reduces flex, keeping muzzle rise tame under rapid fire. Magazines feed 17 rounds of 9mm, and aftermarket base pads stretch that to 23, making the pistol a quiet, high-capacity sleeper compared with Glock. During the 2020 panic, I watched M and P 2.0s stay in stock a week longer than their Austrian rivals. Word got out they chew steel case and aluminum case equally, and they vanished next. Field stripping requires only a 1/8-inch punch to tip the sear deactivation lever, no trigger press necessary. So nervous newcomers appreciate the added safety. Part supply grows monthly, Apex barrels, Holosun plates, Streamlight TLR1 rails. Combine those with a street price still under $7, and it's easy to see why the M and P has moved from backup alternative to primary choice in the prepper world. A year ago, finding a forged receiver AR-10 for $1199.99 seemed impossible. Yet the PSA Saber 10A1 hit that mark and sold through initial runs in days. Chambered in .308, Win Oshchasher 7.62 NATO, it uses a 16-inch 416R stainless bead blast barrel, mid-length gas, and a pinned adjustable block that tames recoil whether you run the plain muzzle thread protector or the included Saber comp. Hard chrome BCG with Sprinko gas rings runs slick even when carbon cakes the bolt tail. Radian Raptor LT charging handle and Talon 45-degree safety ship standard upgrades that cost $100 on other rifles. The B5 SOP mod stock and QD rail and burnt bronze anodizing elevate ergonomics while keeping weight manageable at 8.8 pounds. From a bench, Federal Gold Medal 168 grain prints 1.25-inch 5-shot groups. That's minute of intruder through walls and minute of deer to 400 yards. When word spread, the Saber accepted SR25 pattern mag shooters rushed to pair surplus aluminum or Magpul P mags with it. In a supply crunch, a rifle that shoots scavenged MEN 7.62 linked ammo will always outsell boutique calibers. Forged strength battle rifle cartridge sub $1,200 price, this trifecta flipped the panic switch. Now, every PSA product drop sees the 308 line vanish inside 20 minutes, proving folks want serious caliber punch before new import restrictions bite. Only preppers understand why a single-shot break action costing $12-13.33 MSRP flies off shelves, yet the Chiappa M6 does exactly that. The base gun marries a 12-gauge barrel over a 22 WMR barrel in a skeletonized steel frame that folds to 21 inches overall. The magic lies in 8 X-caliber steel inserts included in the kit, each rifled for a different handgun, round 389mm 357, Magnum 40-44, Magnum 45, ACP 20-gauge, and 410. Load whatever ammo your neighbors abandon, slap the correct insert into the 12-gauge tube, and keep shooting. The double triggers let you fire rifle or shotgun on command, and the M1 style adjustable rear sight plus fiber optic front give practical accuracy to 50 yards. Weight with all inserts stowed in your pack still hovers under 6 pounds. In tests, I chronoed one 24-grain 9mm at over 1,300 feet per second from the 9-inch sleeve carbine velocity from junk drawer ammo. Combine that with the rifle's ability to store 22 long rifle and 12-gauge shells in the polypropylene foam stock, and you hold a portable ammo converter. People who track collapse scenarios know logistics trump firepower, so they're buying the M6 as a hedge. Chiappa's import quotas are modest, therefore once a batch lands, it's gone until next quarter. If you want a single firearm that drinks nearly every caliber, grab the M6 before currency inflation pushes the price north. Everyone loves ARs until hallway corners force the muzzle into drywall. That's when bullpups earn respect, and the Israeli-born Taver X95 leads the charge. MSRP ticks at $19.99, but secondary markets add premiums after each inventory wave. By moving the action behind the trigger, IWI crams a 16.5-inch chrome-lined barrel into an overall length of only 26 inches shorter than many SBRs, yet no tax stamp required. The long-stroke piston system stays cleaner than direct impingement and keeps the center of gravity tight to the shoulder, making rapid transitions feel like pointing a subgun. Ambimag release and side-swap charging handle prove the designers fought with these in dim alleys. Picatinny top rail and removable side rails hide under polymer covers until you need lights, lasers, or tape switches. I've run mine through a 1,000-round weekend steel brass, even a rusty hand-load bucket, and it failed to choke. Field strip requires pushing a single captive pin and pulling the guts as a self-contained sled. Preppers who worry about NFA crackdowns realize the X95 gives rifle velocity and PDW length, so they're pouncing now. Each time a shipment hits, distributors' optics-ready models disappear within 48 hours, and FDE variants sell even faster. If your bug-out vehicle needs compact reach, the Taver checks the box before new imports stall at customs. Ruger resurrected Marlin and instantly ignited a brush fire among lever gun fans. The stainless 1895 SBL lists at $14.79 and still sells out faster than Ruger can mill spiral flutes into bolts. Chambered in 4570 government. A cartridge older than electricity in most homes, this 19-inch hammer-forged barrel launches 405-grain hard-cast slugs that steamroll hogs, elk, and engine blocks. Ghost ring rear and tritium front sights align instinctively, yet Ruger added a full-length Picatinny rail for low-power optics. 6-round tube feeds through a silky loading gate that no longer chews thumbs thanks to tumbled edges. Laminate furniture laughs at rain, and the big loop lever cycles smoothly even with winter gloves. Threaded muzzle in 11/16-24 accepts brakes, or the new crop of 46 caliber suppressors, taming recoil to 12-gauge levels. Reloaders love that Starline brass survives 10 firings, giving sustainable ammo when factories shutter. Lever actions dodge many proposed semi-auto bans, and word travels fast. Once folks realized the 1895 SBL is back online, retailers posted sold-out banners within hours. Hunters buy them for thick woods urbanites for ban-proof defense collectors, because this is the first Ruger-made run with serial prefix RM. Whatever your reason, hesitate, and you'll pay auction scalpers double by next season. Semi-auto shotguns often choke on weak birdshot, yet Beretta's blink gas piston cycles 36% faster than rivals and eats anything from Walmart bulk to 3-inch buck. MSRP begins at $17.20, though Langdon Tactical and others spike packages past $2,000 and still can't meet demand. The 18.7-inch cold hammer forged barrel patterns tight with the included Optima HP cylinder choke and the oversized charging handle plus dished bolt release invite gross motor manipulation under stress. 7-round magazine tube ships standard if your shell length stays true 2 3/4 inch. Trim the follower bumper, and some users squeeze 8. Weighing 6.4 pounds, empty the 1301 shoulders like a sporting gun, yet runs smoke alarm fast. I've timed quarter-second splits with federal flight control. Target arrays disappear before the echo ends. The receiver comes tapped with an aluminum pick rail ready for RMR aimpoint or Steiner MPS optics, and the Ghost Ring Irons co-witness dead center. As far as recoil, G&G's hydraulic buffers drop it to push-gun levels, letting smaller shooters keep control in confined hallways. Every big social media blast about new restrictions on detachable mags spikes sales of tube-fed scatterguns, and the 1301 sits atop the pile. Order now or expect to join the 6-month backorder queue once the next panic hits. And there you have it, 13 guns that are flying off the shelves for good reason. Which of these do you already own, and which one's next on your to-buy list? Let me know in the comments. And while you're down there, hit like, share this with a friend who's been slacking, and subscribe for more Pro 2A gear talk. Don't forget to click the bell icon so you never miss another video when panic starts brewing again.